Hi guys, welcome back to Novel Nomad and week 2 of Top 5 Wednesdays. Now the topic this week is series that just got worse and it just became a bore to keep reading / watching them. Now this goes for books and TV, which is really handy because I couldn't think of that many book series that I just didn't like. I just didn't continue. If I only liked the first book, I didn't continue with the rest of the series. So I decided on books that I had continued and I didn't really like the rest of them. So I'll start off with the books because I do have some TV series and one movie series that I wanted to talk to you about. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Dragon Lynx. This is a freaking amazing, can I just say that again, freaking amazing YA fantasy book by Paul Collins, who's an Australian author, and it blew my mind. It honestly blew my mind when I read this book and I absolutely loved it. Really strong female character in the lead protagonist. She's completely unreliable. She's not what you expect at all, and it was just a fantastic read. And then he released the next book and it continued with the same 3 characters that you meet in this book, and I didn't like it. It kind of went into a direction that I never expected for the characters. And then again he brought out the 3rd book and didn't like that one either. It got worse for me and it just progressed. I never read the final book. I felt really bad because I had got all the way through. I'd read all first 3 books, but I just could not bring myself to read the last book in this series. So I have kept the first one as a homage to how amazing this book is. And if you want, go out, read this book. I highly recommend it. Another Australian YA book that I can recommend, but don't continue. Just stay here and be super pleased. What I found really strange is he wrote this one and it was such a long time between writing this 2nd and 3rd book. So I was like, why do that? So it doesn't matter. I mean, Paul Collins, this book is so good, so I can just recommend this one straight away. So definitely check this out. If you are interested, just look it up. I'm not giving it a justice here, but definitely check it out. So the only other book series I could think of that I didn't really like after a first few, not that I didn't like it, it kind of plateaued for me, and that is the Franny Fisher series by Kerry Greenwood. Now, I do love the TV show. I mean, it's visually stunning and it's quite fun and cheeky. The books are a bit different. It's wonderfully researched, so I cannot fault Kerry Greenwood for that. It just becomes incredibly formulaic, and I understand with crime, especially cozy crime, it can be very formulaic at times, but there's always something that can easily differ it up, change it up a little bit. And The Train to Ballarat was my absolute favourite. It was so well done, so well written and paced, and the crime was so well thought through. And then after that I think this one is the 6th book, and it's just been the same. So I'm going to continue to see where it goes because people still love it. They still give it really good ratings, so I can't fault the series. It just has plateaued and it hasn't gone anywhere for me. So yeah, I'm not sure. I definitely want to continue, but it's not something that's a downhill slide. It's just sitting plateaued right there. Okay, I'll move straight into the movie series, and I have to admit I loved the first movie when I was a kid. You know, it's that one movie that you obsess about and then you slightly become obsessed with whatever they were doing in the movie. That was The Mummy. Yeah, I absolutely loved the first movie of The Mummy. It was so good. I loved it so much. Yes, it's corny, but it worked. It worked so well. And then they released a 2nd movie. Yes, this is a 2-movie bind-up, but it was okay. And then the 3rd movie didn't even have Rachel Weisz. And then after that, what was that one that was set in China? And now they've released a new one that's coming out, and it doesn't even have Brendan Fraser, and it's something completely different again. I think it has the original girl from this series, perhaps. I'm not sure. But really, it's been done a lot, and I mean, the first one was great because it just kind of scratched the itch, and now it's just getting nasty, I think. So yeah, I'm not gonna watch the next Mummy. I haven't watched the one that was set in China. The first two are perfectly fine for me and I'm happy to keep it there. Alright, one that was slightly sacrilegious for anyone who loves, absolutely adores Anne of Green Gables, and that is the Anne of Green Gables TV series. I mean, this is beautiful. I absolutely adore the first two, may I just say, the first two installments of this series. And then the third one, I don't know what they did. What they did is they changed the story. This is supposed to be set in an Edwardian period of Canada, so you're thinking the late 1890s going into the 1910s, and all of a sudden the third one, Anne is suddenly so much older. She still hasn't married Gilbert, but he goes off to war. So surely that's been over 20 something years that they've been together and not married, so it's been so odd. So yeah, it wasn't a great thing that it diverged from, but I have to admit there's one scene in that third series that always makes me cry. Not like huge weeping tears, but it still makes me cry. That scene aside, just the first two are perfect. You don't need to move on any from there, and if you do want to move on, read the books. So highly recommend the first two in this series, but the third one, if you want to watch it, you can, but the books are better. Alright, going completely left field now, and I'm going with an anime series. Yes, this is right. I am the biggest Rurouni Kenshin fan that I know. Mainly because I started reading the manga, and Rurouni Kenshin is basically a historical manga set in 1870s after the Meiji Revolution. So Japan have overthrown the previous government and input another government that's quite westernized, and they opened up to Western trade. Now this is all about follows Rurouni Kenshin, he was an assassin during the revolutionary period, and he disappeared. So 10 years later, when the government is still having issues and trying to work out what to do with this new government and how to run Japan in this new style, he becomes a wanderer and he starts helping out different people in the new capital, Edo, which is now Tokyo. And I absolutely loved reading this series. It was just such a great experience. I'd always loved getting the new book. It has 28 volumes in the series, and I cannot fault one of those manga volumes. And then they made it into an anime. Now the problem is, when they make an anime, they make it faster than the poor manga illustrator and author can illustrate the manga and write the story. So the anime caught up to the illustrator. And so the first two seasons were completely honest to the story. And this third season, I don't know what they did, but it was not good. I did not enjoy this at all. And yes, I did buy it because, like I said, I'm the biggest Rurouni Kenshin fan I know, and I would still buy it anyway. But I did not enjoy this at all. It's just, it does not make sense. It doesn't really fit into the story. It's more ridiculous. Like, yes, there are elements of Rurouni Kenshin that are a bit far-fetched and ridiculous, but this is even more so. And so I do not recommend this at all. However, if you want to get into Rurouni Kenshin, a shorter version, rather than reading all 28 volumes or going through the first two series of the anime, they have a live-action movie now, and I've seen all three of them, and they were freaking amazing. I've said freaking amazing quite a lot, but it is freaking amazing, and I want to share the Rurouni Kenshin love with so many more people, except for the series. Don't watch this series. Not worth it. Just read the manga and watch the first two box sets of the series, and then watch those three glorious movies. So yes, just avoid. Alright, so this was a very interesting Top 5 Wednesday for me because I couldn't think of that many books to relate to this one, so I had to really go into my movie collection and things that I didn't quite like in those ones. So I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday and the rest of the week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!